All right, so Marcus, let's dive into the game. Obviously, you had some instant analysis right afterward, but now that you've obviously had a chance, had time to go back and look at it again, I'm curious what your overall impressions are about Michigan's performance in that contest versus Miami.
You know, going back looking at it, I'm noticing that everybody expects Michigan to play perfect football. I just think it's a shame that every time, like, the jury is out so bad that every time they have a bad series or a bad sequence or, a 5-minute stretch of bad football, that everybody just sucks their head. Not everybody, but most people just thinks that all is lost, the sky's falling. It's football. You know what I mean? And like I said, I like Nussmeier's play calling. I go back, Devin didn't have to throw that football. It wasn't tight coverage, but it was a small window. It's hard to throw slants, which that play was. It was a double slant from the top. It's hard to fit that in zone coverage. But, like I said, the offensive line, they didn't play perfect, but they gave Devin enough time to throw the football. For the most part, Miami made a couple of plays. The other teams will make plays, too. The thing about football, man, is when you root for your team, you expect your team to make all the plays and the other team just not to show up. It's a heavyweight fight. You're going to punch, and you're going to get punched. I still think Michigan's going to be okay. A fumble by Darbo, ball control. It's ball security. But fumbles happen, too. Miami fumbled the ball. They recovered it back. Okay, you got the special teams miscues. It's not like all that stuff happened every week. I'm still high on Michigan because I still think the Big Ten East is wide open. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. And Devin Gardner, in my opinion, can put the cape on and play well when it's time, in a big game, especially, at home, on the road. That's where he's going to have to find a way to turn it up. So I think Michigan played well. The pass defense still gets picked apart in certain situations, but they only gave up 190-something maybe total yards, man. Run defense is outstanding, and I think that run defense is what's going to save Michigan moving forward.
All right, so Marcus, you mentioned let's start off talking a little more in depth about Devin, because he has been a hot button topic here on our show for for the better part of the past 4 or 5 months, and certainly since the season began. And the impression that many have of him is that he's this turnover machine. And I think you aptly pointed out that in going back to last year's Indiana game, so from Indiana through the opener, he had thrown 1 interception period over those in those 7 games. Now, in the past few games, he's had some turnovers. He had the 3 INTs versus Notre Dame, and the 1 INT versus Miami. I'm curious what your assessment is of him as far as ball security is concerned, and what you think of his place as the quarterback. Is his job in jeopardy? Should it be in jeopardy?
I don't think Devin's job should be in jeopardy. It's not in jeopardy. It's funny how people treat Devin Gardner like a professional football player. You don't ever talk about the good stuff that he does. As soon as something bad happened, then that's all front page news. Glass house life. So nobody wants to talk about how this young man was completing almost 70% of his passes, how this young man started off the 2014 campaign, 19 of 20, 6 for 6 in the first quarter against Notre Dame. So, okay, he turned the ball over in the second half. Things didn't go well. And as a football player, you know that you may find yourself getting out of rhythm once the game changes. First of all, I was a basketball player. I played a lot of basketball. Guys start taking poor, bad shots. Watch basketball, and you'll see guys take a jump shot. They may be down 3 or 4 with a minute left, and they may shoot a 3 they ain't got no business shoot, or force a pass. That's what happens. He plays quarterback. He had one bad half of football, and that was against One bad half. That's 2 quarters out of 12 quarters of football. Okay? I like Devin Gardner, and when I was on TV, I made it a point, I'm not going to bash this man on TV because he threw an interception, and that ball got tipped. Shane threw it. He didn't complete a pass on Saturday, 2 drops or not. So what do you want? This is the hand Michigan was dealt, and trust me, it's a state of urgency as far as winning at Schembechler Hall. And if Shane Morris or anybody else was ready to play and gave Michigan the best chance to win, those guys would put him in. And why would you move Devin back to receiver? This isn't high school football. This isn't little league football where you just move guys around in midseason. This is collegiate football at the highest level. He gives you the best chance to win. All you got to do is protect him. Nussmeier's play calling is protecting Devin from Devin. You see all that play action pass on first down? That's not going to work a little bit later in the season. Michigan State's going to blitz Nussmeier on first down. They're going to send edge pressure, guys up the middle. So that's when you'll see the screen and the draw come into effect. Nussmeier's a professional play caller. Okay, that offensive line is playing a lot better than people really think. But as far as Devin Gardner, my thing is leave the man alone. Let him play ball. You pull him out, you're not going to win a game in this conference. If you take Devin Gardner out, you won't win. You would have won 3 games last year, and it is just the way it goes. Trust me, those guys are getting paid a lot of money down the street to make decisions. Brady's a decision maker, not a play caller. Everybody wants to fire Brady. He's not a play caller. He's a D-line coach. Now he's the head coach that has to manage people, and so now he's got to hire the right guy. And I think on offense, for sure, after watching last year, that he's got the right guy. So if those kids go out and execute, nobody would have anything to say. A fumble by Darboh is not coaching. A tip pass interception, that's not coaching. Communication on the back end on special teams, maybe. But coaches get too much blame, and so do quarterbacks. I like Devin Gardner moving forward, and I wish him the best, and I hope he wins every game in the Big Ten and shut everybody up.
All right, so this is a good halftime, a good intermission. It's clear you must have been getting some of those tweets that are going at the Michigan football account. Must be getting some of those tweets that come our way. It's people have their opinion, entrenched opinion on Devin. But I'm gonna switch gears when we come back on the other side. Talk about the running game and maybe some progress on that front. Talk about defense, look to Utah as well. So stay tuned here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, the official voice of University.